Don't worry.
Your drink has
I know Monica doesn't smoke.
No.
But do you smoke? You ever got a cigar?
My husband smokes.
Here, I'll give you one.
Thanks.
Buddy.
She is.
So that is a very mild cigar. It's
Okay.
Crazy Alice.
Okay.
If you want to light it up, it tastes like.
Well, no, I'm gonna put it in my pocketbook.
You can actually just put it in your mouth but not smoke it. You
It
can
tastes
just-
like it has like hints of chocolate, a little bit of nuttiness to it.
That's right.
Reggie,
Wow,
what
that's the man right there. What's up?
We're not going to.
Microwave that. Oh, there it is. Look at that.
Hey,
Okay.
sorry, we can't have that zapper
This is what
in there.
happens. We have people walk in and
It
out.
spirals out of control.
It's, see, like I said,
All right, let's focus.
well, we're filmed in a business, so we try to respect that we are guests here, and so we don't tell Dwayne and Val anything that we are going to do. We ask.
They ask you
We
to get
ask.
cigars. So
We,
Okay.
we ask what we can do when we're here, so which is fine with me
Okay.
and Rex. So
I
without
usually don't get asked much of anything.
Yeah.
I just kind of go with the flow.
he does go with the flow. Okay.
Okay. What is your business called? Or what did your little shirt say?
Oh, this is, yeah, it is. It's a new thing that came out. That you can have all of my heart. It's not much.
I just posted a saying I don't have much, but you can have it. Just
So,
yesterday.
The worship leader at the church we go to just released his own album. And this is the shirt from that album.
Yesterday, so we got the t-shirts yesterday. So
Nice.
Very nice.
It was like literally the coolest thing in the house when we threw them on.
I love
It was a clean.
I mean,
coffee.
You've all been there. I'm not shy about it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
back on schedule.
All right.
We're rolling.
We're rolling. Here we go. Well, I am JT Graham, the host of the One Bourbon, One Cigar Small Business Podcast. And today we actually have a really cool charity from the local community here. We have Monica Silcott and Michelle Green. They work with the United Way here of Central Texas. And we're so glad to have you on. We realize we can have a much bigger impact beyond just small businesses. So let's have a charity on and see how else, as small business owners, we can probably impact the community even more. So, without further ado, could you just introduce yourselves a little bit? You know, who you are, married, kids.
Okay, I'm Monica Silcott. I have been married for 32 years in December.
All right.
I have 3 children, one whose birthday is today, so happy birthday,
Whoa.
L'Oreal. She's
All right.
31. And then a 28-year-old son, and then a 15-year-old that is about to drive, so y'all pray for me.
What do you mean
and-
all of us should pray for ourselves?
Yeah, true, true. Well, it'll be a bi-directional prayer.
Yes.
I am the Director of Engagement for United Way. I have been born and raised here in Temple, which is Belton's a neighbor. I'm a Wildcat, but I raised tigers.
Okay.
So, we love it here. This is our home, our neighborhood, our backyard.
Okay. And Michelle?
Again, Michelle Green, and I am Vice President of Resource Development. And so I am responsible for going out and doing campaign presentations, organizing events, recruiting volunteers, and answering a lot of the press-related questions as it relates to United Way. I've been married for 6 years. I have a 22-year-old son, and I have 2 bonus children, and then 3 grandchildren.
No, all right.
But I am not a grandma. I am a Coco.
All right. All right. Hey, you know, aren't grandchildren, don't they say they're the crown jewel? Like that's,
That's what they say.
yeah. I mean, so cool.
I have not partaken in all those festivities. I'm just taking
I'm
my
hoping I'm
time.
years and years away from being a grandpappy. So, well, we are glad to have you on.
Called Grandpappy?
I'm going to go be a grandma.
Yeah,
you know?
grandpappy.
No.
Or Pappy O'Dannell, they can call me
Oh.
that, Pappy O'Dannell.
Oh, brother, where art thou?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, brother, right. That's one of the favorites
That's
here.
that's
at
one of my favorites.
At Creekside. We just watched it here a couple days ago on TV. So, well, thank you for coming in. I know you guys are really busy. I can see you guys probably are managing text messages right now as we speak. So I know your time's valuable. We will hop right to it. And then we have a really cool event that we're at the very end. We're gonna kind of let people know about. So, well, I do want people to know, because I didn't know myself much about the United Way in general, and then what you guys are about, what you do here in the area. So, what does United Way Central Texas do?
The excuse me, the quickest way to answer that is we connect people with the resources that they need in the community. we are not the experts in paying rent or providing a food pantry, but we support agencies that do that. And they do a wonderful job of that. And so what happens is we connect people with those agencies. And so you can be good at all things, or you can be great at one or two things. And so we salute the agencies that are great at those one or two things. And so when people need help with utilities, we know exactly where to send them. When they need help for after school care or affordable after school care or summer care or programs, we know where to send them. If there is a situation where domestic violence is at the center, we know where to send them. So it is all about knowing the resources in the community, knowing the agencies, and then connecting the people to them.
Okay. Anything to add to that, Monica?
I will tell you that I just was fairly new to United Way a year and a half ago, and I've lived here my whole life, much like most people listening.
Okay.
And didn't know the exact things that they did or how they supported it. I knew kind of like everyone else, the logo, but didn't know the meat and potatoes behind it. And watching things that happen in the stories that we see is amazing, and you really get hooked into the passion of helping people. And if you're all about your neighbor and you're all about what you can do, and if you know somebody who's hurting and you're that kind of person that has the heart to make a change, then wow, that is definitely a place to hang your hat.
Okay. Well, and so I had this question, and now I was going to ask it later. Since you said story, can you at least share one example of how the United Way really helps someone? Do you have one that just stands out to either one of you? You don't have to share, obviously, names or anything.
No.
Just like an event or something that.
Yeah.
And again, I'll give you two quick ones.
Okay.
One is because not only do we run campaigns, and so we go to different companies, excuse me, and share what United Way does, and people can invest in United Way by donating. But there's other things that we do, and one of those things is that we have drives, whether it's a hygiene drive or a fan drive. We just finished collecting fans for the summer, and it was so hot. We had a gentleman come in to the building on crutches. Half of his leg was missing. And he asked for a fan, and he says, "I'm so sorry to even have to ask for this fan. I've been self-sufficient all my life." And, and I said, "Well, what happened?" And he says, he's been a truck driver. He was making $1,700 a week, truck driving, saving his money, paying his bills, doing everything that he should be doing. Now he's living off of $1,700 a month. I said, "Okay, again, what happened?" He said he was clipping his toenails, and he clipped one a little too short, and it bled. He said it bled for about 30 minutes. He went to sleep, woke up the next morning. That middle toenail, the ring finger toe and the baby toe, were black. He waited 3 days, went to the hospital, and the doctor told him that he had gangrene in that leg, and so he had to get that amputated below the knee. When they went back in, the gangrene was still there, so they had to go above the knee and take the rest of that off. And so he spent the last 2 years and 6 months between surgeries and trying to rehab, learn how to walk again. He can't stay on the crutches much longer because they're going to cut off and damage the nerves underneath the armpit. But his prosthetic weighs 34 pounds.
Oh.
And so that gives him problems as well. And so when you think, in order for me to change somebody's life, I have to give a lot, I have to be always present, and the answer is you don't. It was a $22 fan this man asked for. And so how can you make a difference? $22 fan. In addition to us doing workplace campaigns, we also have initiatives that are not paid for by workplace campaign dollars at all, but it's to benefit everybody in the community. And one of those is our Bridges program, and it pays for prescriptions, durable medical equipment, transportation to and from medical appointments. And so probably about 4 weeks ago, I had a young lady call and said that her mother had a stroke and was in the hospital ended up losing her insurance, and while she was in the hospital, they noticed a mass. When they went in and checked out the mass was cancerous. So this lady at 50 years old had a stroke, found out she has cancer, had it removed, has to go through rehab to learn how to do everything all over again, and now also getting chemo. And so she needed this blood thinner to help her because she just had a stroke, right?
Yeah.
For a 90-day supply, it was $2,000. The daughter couldn't afford it. Again, there's no insurance, and so they called us. We could not pay for the 90-day supply, but we were able to pay for the 30-day supply, which was a little over $600, and then connect her with another agency that took the mother on as a client, so the mother doesn't have to worry about how to pay for that medication that she doesn't have the option of not taking. And so it's those kinds of things that when they say, how can we help with United Way? What does United Way do? It's all about giving, and it starts with the $22 fan. It starts with an hour of volunteer time, and it just goes from there.
I mean, if a bunch of people give a small donation, you can have a large impact.
Definitely.
I mean, how many fans did you guys get donated?
I
mean,
between money, because some people
Yeah.
just donated money, and other people donated fans. It was about 70.
all right.
Mhm.
It was hot. Well, there you
It's
go.
hot.
70 people got impacted.
And so we
simple
gave
donation like
we
that.
gave some of those to the Belton Fire Department. We gave some of those to the Temple Fire Department, and then the rest of them were individual clients, people in the community that just heard about it, needed a fan, came in for a fan.
One of the stories I like to share is, I heard this with Michelle, was a domestic violence case. And it was a lady who was pretty much stripped of all her things, clothes, you name it, everything, identification. And so she didn't have anything to even say who she was. And so people tend to think that when you give $1 or $2, it doesn't make an impact. But if you do give that, it goes to a program that can help her get her ID. So that little $27 renewal fee and that $15 or $17 birth certificate reprint helps her get her identity back and helps her get back on her feet, and then she can go get a job, and then she can go get a place, and now her life is back where she's standing versus lost and doesn't have anybody to say who she is. So it's huge and it's amazing, and people think $1 or $2 or $5 is almost embarrassing to give, but it is not, because it's so compounded. In other programs, they go get grants. These nonprofits can get grants, and they do seed money, and seed money they'll give this, and when they do that, the grant comps them with another.
Okay.
So $1 becomes $10, and then and so on, and do the math, and before you know it, you can really change somebody's life that way.
Definitely.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Definitely.
Well, yeah, and just a driver's license, how many opportunities that opens back up for you.
Absolutely.
Versus sitting twiddling your thumbs.
Yep.
And not knowing where to start.
Wow, and that people are that desperate that $27
Absolutely.
can change their life.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
And-
Most
and-
people take for granted $27.
And the agency that can also help with that can help give them a ride, because if you don't have a driver's license,
Yeah.
you can't drive.
Can't get there.
And if you
Just
don't
can't
even
get
have a driver's license, you probably don't even have access to a vehicle. So they don't just say, we'll pay for it. They say, you need a ride, go ahead and schedule an appointment. We'll make sure you get there and get back.
Okay, so there's all sorts of... Well, we'll get into that. All the organizations that... I mean, once again, I didn't really know. I just knew United Way as this big national charity.
Right.
You're like, well, what can I do to... they're
Well, let's
not
talk
worried
about
about
that.
my...
Let's talk about that. People do have that. I was guilty too. It's a national charity. You give money, you don't realize where it's going. But it is literally United Way of Central Texas, because it is for us here in our neighborhood. You are literally, I could pull statistics that tell you in 76513 how many people need food, how many people are homeless,
Okay.
how many people are looking for a job that make, can't make it, can't get enough funds to get it in. And that speaks on our Alice community. And I like to talk about this because this was like a fascinating thing for me when I first started, that I learned, is because Alice community means two people, working people and still have to choose between gas in their car or money on their kids' lunch line account.
Sure.
It's very hard, and they're doing everything they're supposed to be doing and living life like they're supposed to be doing, but it is hard to live in society.
Yes.
And so these people is who comes and we help, because sometimes there's a gap, and we are about filling the gap.
Sure, absolutely. Well, no, I think a lot of people, myself included, how can we fill that gap? It's such a big problem. Like you said, my $5 isn't going to make a difference, but
it absolutely does.
I think that's the greatest takeaway already in the few minutes we've been talking.
It absolutely does.
I think that's a pride thing probably too, for So that's great to know. Hey, Dwayne, what's up?
Got shocked again.
Here we go. Monica and Michelle.
The key word was Dwayne.
Yeah, Dwayne here, the owner of Creekside. Yeah, exactly. I'm an easy target. I'm an easy target for sure.
Thank you, Dwayne, for letting us do this in your facility.
Yes.
So, what are some other things that you guys help people with? I know, like you said, you're the overarching. So, what are some other programs or organizations? If you want to touch on that a little bit.
So under programs for United Way, we have our Bridges program that I just talked to you about for medications. We also have Healthcare Navigator, because United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of everyone in our community. And so we have Health Place Navigators, and they help you find a good insurance policy.
So are these direct things you got United
direct
Way does
things that we do
what you guys cover? Okay.
that are not paid for by workplace campaigns. They are paid for by grants and partnerships. And so we want to make sure that we drill it in, is that if you donate to United Way, it goes to a partner agency.
Okay.
It doesn't come and pay Monica or my salary. It goes straight to that agency. And even still, you can annotate exactly which agency you want it to go to.
You can direct your money wherever you want.
You sure can, if you would like to. And so, again, under that, we have those pillars, a health pillar, and we talked about the Bridges, and then the Health Place Navigator, because navigating health insurance is difficult.
What? No.
And you got this plan, part A and part B, and it's just like, wait a minute. And so there's people that are trained, certified. We get a grant to make sure that they are trained and certified, and are available to answer those questions, to help guide you to get the best thing for you and your family. And let you even know about certain dates, because you think you can only apply during open enrollment time, but then there's also other times of the year that you can apply for changing your health care coverage. And so they'll talk to you about that. So that's one of them. We have our education component. We have literacy initiative, where we have gotten grants in the past, and we're able to purchase books at wholesale, but deeper discount than wholesale. We've given out almost 60,000 books in the last couple years to the school districts, as well as different agencies. Again, these agencies that we've gifted these books to are agencies where the kids, young adults, may be homeless.
Okay.
They may have nothing. And so to give them a book that is not a hand-me-down, that is theirs.
There is something about that.
There's something about that. There's something about that. And so where we could get that book, for $3 or $4 or less, it is priceless to them. And so that's something that we offer, and people can support through a workplace campaign or donation. They say, I want to support the literacy initiative, and that's fine. One of the other things under that umbrella is Read Across America Day. Even though that's an event, that's an initiative that we really support within the Belton ISD and Temple ISD. And we get volunteers to get out and go to different schools and read to the schools that need them the most, that have lower test scores, that have lower income ratios, where they're getting free lunch. The whole school's getting free lunch. And so when we are able to read to a child, and I say this all the time, it's less of, oh, we're just reading, just, checking the box. And it's more of getting somebody excited about reading, getting them excited about learning, and then just changing the narrative for them. And it just starts with the book. I often ask males to go and read.
Sure.
And I say, because most of these classrooms have female teachers, have female principals, and these students go home to their mothers or their grandmothers, typically.
Okay.
But what about the male student? They rarely get to see a man reading. And so as a man going to this classroom, it's like, wait a minute, there's somebody that looks like me that's reading, and they're making it cool. So now let me try and do it a little bit more often. And again, when you do things a little bit more often, what happens? You get better at it.
Sure.
When you get better at it, you're going to get better grades. When you get better grades, you get more opportunities. And when you get more opportunities, it expands your experience. And so it just comes from reading. And again, it's all the people, but primarily any males that want to sign up to read to these classrooms is definitely appreciated. And then we have our financial stability pillar. We offer VITA, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, free tax preparation for households that make $64,000 or less.
Okay.
Last tax season, we completed almost 1,200 returns, $1.3 million in refunds at a 98% acceptance rate. JT,
Right.
when people have $1.3 million that's coming right back in this community, what they going to do with it?
Spend it.
Spend it. Where are they going to spend
And
it?
that multiplies itself, though.
That
It's not just
multiplies.
1.3 million. It multiply. I bet the multiplier's 3 or 4 at least on something.
And they
like
say
that.
right away that $300-400 it takes to process it on top of that
Yep.
because it's free.
Because
Yeah.
it's
an
free.
amazing program.
So the 1,200 multiplied by 300 or 400 for tax preparation is about $500,000 in tax preparation fees that people are not paying.
Yeah. So that. Well, there's even more freed up. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys have a lot of programs you support.
We do. We
So
do.
so now you've touched on the programs. What are some of the organizations here in the local community that you guys sponsor with or help support?
So I'll just go down the list here. Central Texas 4C, Central Texas Youth Services, the Weekend Nutrition Program, CTLC, Communities in Schools of Greater Central Texas, Families in Crisis, Families Promises of Bell County, Foster Love in Bell County, Helping Hands Ministry of Belton, Hill Country Community Action, Ralph Wilson Youth Club, Starry Counseling, Temple Community Clinic, Temple Housing Residential Corporation, and Salvation Army of Bell County. These are great,
So pretty
great
comprehensive.
partners.
I mean, that's
Yes.
all geared towards the community big time. A lot of children are affected, I think, positively by our donations and who you partner with. It sounds like
And
they're
these change as years go
Okay.
in, and they have to go through. I'll read specifically here. It says UWCT annually invests in nonprofit agencies and programs that with proven track records and measurable success. Basically, a report card.
yes.
So we have to be good stewards of the money that comes to us, and the way to do that is putting accountability measures. And our partners love that. They do great work, and we support them and cheerlead for them because of that. And your money that comes in, the workplace campaigns, that's what they're doing. They're helping people do and continue to do the great things that they're doing for those who need it the most.
Well, and I think donors or people like myself, just the community at large, they want that because we have, over the years, been burned by a lot of charities. When you realize,
Absolutely.
okay, I want you see nothing change. Like, we gave all this money to so-and-so organization, and then you find out 85% to admin. Like, no, that's not affecting. That's affecting their pocketbook, not thousands of. So I like the accountability. I think people are really, that gives them great confidence to give. I mean, it gives me great confidence to give. I'm very choosy about who I give my money to for that reason.
As you should be. I mean, and the great thing about our partners is there's a process. It starts in November, December, where they complete a letter of intent.
Okay.
If that lines up, meaning they have initiative that has been proven, tried and proven, and they know they can do more with more money, more support, then they're invited to do an application. And so they fill out the application, and then there's the allocations committee. And the allocations committee is comprised of people in the community. Anybody that wants to be on the allocations committee is welcomed to participate.
Really?
United Way does not pick our partners.
Oh, wow.
We do not. And it's again people that are from the community that go through this application, and they meet with the staff of the agency that's applying for funding, and they go through it as if it's their money and say, you know what, you say you're going to, feed 50 people per week. In order for you to get your quarterly check, you need to show your proven measurable results.
Right.
You have to walk the talk.
Which this kind of onsets our 365 small business circle that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
It has 3 tiers. The first tier is you give $1 a day. It's $365 a year, and you're a local hero.
Okay.
And with that, you get social media posting. You get your display for business on your little sticky on your screen that you're part of United Way. Your name is on our website. You get an invitation to special events. It's a great way to give back to the community. A second tier is a community champion, and that's $3 a day. It comes out to $1,095 a year. You get all of what I just said, as well as your logo on our website. You're listed in our annual report that goes out. You're on our e-news impact newsletter, and you're recognized during our annual campaign events. And it provides a networking opportunities to get recognized. And for small businesses, that's huge.
Yeah.
The whole process and need is to get out there and do what you do. And the last one is the cultural icon. That's $5 a day. That comes to $18.25 a year. You get all of what I just said, plus you get printed digitally and locally our annual report. So it's handed out to our entire mass of emails. And a VIP invitation to our special events, which is huge. A sponsorship in our community connection. So we have a community connection that meets every third Wednesday of the month. And you can sponsor that event, and everyone who is there will know that you were the sponsor for that particular event, which gets your name out there in a whole nother realm of audience. You can also get a customized volunteer options with Michelle. She'll work a customized volunteer program with you if you want to do something special, just your business, not on our allocated days, but on something on the side that you want to do. Maybe you're a smaller place and you want to make an impact. She'll work specifically with you to do some kind of program or whatever you want to do. That's very customizable. You'll get a certificate to put in your business that shows you belong to United Way of Central Texas. And back when she was talking about the review committee, you'll get a personalized invitation to be on that, so that you can really see the nuts and bolts of where it's going, all that. And also, which is a big deal, we only have one fundraiser a year, and that's Chroma Carols. It happens every December, and you'll get 2 free tickets as part of that, and that's a big deal. And all of the bigger businesses, the I don't know what you want to call the hefty lifters in the community, they all go to that.
Okay.
So that's a really good opportunity for small business to partner with big businesses, and it's a real awesome mingling, and a lot of action goes in there. You can sponsor a tree as a company. You can sponsor a table as a company. There's lots of ways to get involved, but that's probably like the biggest shindig that you want to be a part of. If you're anybody, you want to be a part of that.
That's the one the day after you're already planning for next year?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And you get a recognition certificate of appreciation. We want to make sure we do everything we can to appreciate small business and recognize that, because you guys, you're the little engines that are running.
Doing what we do here. Like, we're all about small
running.
business owners.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I think a lot of small business owners, if you ask them, they really want their money to go back into the community, help the community, creative ways to give back to the community. So, yeah, I like this a lot.
Yeah, it stays right here in East Bell County.
Yeah,
I want to say
that.
that.
We need to talk about volunteering, because that's huge.
I was just going to ask you, how can you get people get involved?
The last thing I want to initiative that I want to talk about real quick that is part of United Way that is probably the most unsung hero is 211.
Okay.
211 is our information resource hotline. So when people need to know where to go to get what they need to get, they can call 211. And it seems like they call us and they say, you know what, who can we go to or who can we reach out to help with rent? We'll tell them to call 211, and it's not because we don't want to talk to them. It's because the 211 database specialist, can look directly in the database and give a real life agencies and organizations that can help with those specific questions. But the great thing about our 4 call center specialists is that they do talk, but they do listen. And so they hear what the question that you're asking for, but they also see what else that you need and give you those resources as well. At the end of 2019, those 4 call center specialists that work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, taking about 47,000 calls. At the end of 2020, those same 4 call center specialists took in 92,000 calls. Yes.
Holy cow.
So
well, it makes sense.
When COVID happened, of course, everybody's always looking for the top 3, help with rent, help with utilities, and where are the food pantries? But then they were also wondering, my hours just got cut. How do I apply for unemployment? Where do I apply for unemployment? How long does it take to get my unemployment? What about food stamps? We got these kids home from school. How do I feed them? Is there anybody that can give me another computer? Because I got 3 kids, they're school age, but I got 1 computer and they all got homework. And, it's like, how do you do it? And so our call center specialists were answering all those questions as it related to everything in COVID during 2020. And the calls lifted just a little bit in 2021, but still things weren't back to normal. And so it was a little bit less for 2022. But even right now, we're at 5,000 calls for the month of August, and we still have 4 more days left.
Oh, wow.
So people are still wanting to know what's happening and what's going on. And so I wanted to make sure that, everybody understood, we have health, education, financial stability, and then we have our 211 call center. As far as volunteer opportunities, we have our big one that's coming up October the 6th. It's called Day of Caring. We, in the past, we've had about anywhere from 350 to maybe 450 volunteers that do, and I feel like last year we had like 26 different projects throughout the community, and it's everything from power washing windows and buildings to repainting to remulching, to sorting donated clothes, to organizing food pantries, whatever is needed in these nonprofit organizations, that they can utilize volunteers to help what they do go a little bit further. We try to do it. We try to help them out. The Hope for the Hungry Trail, that was 2 of our projects from last year right here in Belton. They cleared off the walking trail, and then they sorted donations that were given because they collect coats and clothes. And so it was an inside group and an outside group for one location because they had that much stuff to do. So if people are interested in volunteering, we definitely would love to have you. You can register on the website, uwct.org. Go to events and then Day of Caring, and then whether you want to submit a project to be completed if you're a nonprofit, or if you want to put together a group, or you want to sign up just for yourself to volunteer, there's links for both of those.
So that's maybe something good for a little small business to bring their employees out and
absolutely
team building.
Absolutely.
Team building. Okay.
And then you get to learn about these agencies that you had no idea. I didn't know they did this.
Well, that's it. I'm always surprised, and even now today talking to you guys, all the things that are out there. and all the need
Yes.
that's out there that you don't think, like a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? Fans? Like people need any and everything.
Yep.
Kenny, do not. Okay, thank you. Where is the United Way here in Central Texas?
United
People
Way.
need to come visit where like an actual building.
Yep, we are located downtown Temple, 4 North 3rd Street. It's right across the street from the Temple Daily Telegraph.
Okay. And people can send donations directly to
Yes.
that address, and I'm sure there's
Absolutely.
multiple ways. Ah, jeez. Dang it.
He came out of
Man,
nowhere.
he was like a ninja. I heard him clomping around back there, and then he went dead silent. So,
Listen for the silence.
yes. Sorry. So they can donate. They can bring a check right there, or they can donate online.
Yep.
Yes.
Obviously, the events that you guys host and everything,
Yes.
which I'm really excited to talk about one coming up here, but we will
Yes.
save that till the end. We're going to tease that for a little longer.
Okay.
Well, I guess we're almost right there. We might as well talk about this because this is a fun event.
Nothing small about everybody's impact.
No, and
It's
I
huge.
think that's the greatest takeaway here is that even the smallest, even volunteering, if you get a group of you to go volunteer, think about the 3 people that are maybe there all year long that do that work, but then you get a group of 30. Now, hopefully they don't mess everything up because sometimes that happens when you get a big group.
Very rarely.
But if you get more
yes.
people now, you multiply that, so now they can catch back up or focus on something. So
Absolutely.
I like one thing that Michelle says. You always talk about the presence of a place, and then they'll choose. So can you tell that story? Because I always like that story.
Yeah. So what happens is, again, everybody has the same heart. Is a giving heart, and so I'll start off. Let me just back up. When you have to ask for help, it's hard for people to ask for help.
yes, it is.
It's very, very hard. And so when you do, you kind of hold your head down, and it's like a shame. And it doesn't have to be, shameful, but we do. We feel like, man, I'm ashamed I need to ask for help. And so you walk into a building, and the paint might be peeling, or the flower bed might be overgrown, or things are just not organized. It's dark, it's not as clean as it should be or could be. And so now the outside, what you're looking at, matches how you feel on the inside, and it doesn't have to be that way. A lot of these nonprofit organizations, again, have a small budget, and so if they have a choice to take that $50 and pay somebody to power wash their building so that it's shiny and clean, or pay for 5 more families to eat for the day,
Sure.
which one are they going to choose?
Yeah, they're going to help out the family.
They're going to help out the family. And so what happens is that building just continues to look bad.
Yeah.
And it's not done on purpose.
No.
It's just that they're choosing you over them.
That's interesting. I didn't even think of that. I like
Mhm.
because that is such a true thing. It just, I mean, this is kind of like when you're up north and it's cold and wintry, all that seasonal depression. When you walk into a place and it's heavy, and you're like, oh, and they, like you said, I really would like to plant new flowers
Can't
but
do it.
flowers that are gonna or feed a family.
Yes.
So that is actually a cool way to give back because I think that lifts everyone's spirit especially when you're there day in and day out.
Yep.
That's why
And-
she's the champion of volunteers.
Yeah, that is
It is a moving.
It is.
No,
initiative.
I think that is a great something that's probably overlooked by a lot of people. They want to make the immediate impact and help that person instead of actually helping
And
the
some
people that
may
work
not
there.
be able to give. So, but if they can give their time,
Yes.
it's just as valuable.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
independent sector says a volunteer hour is worth $30.88.
Oh, that's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Okay.
It's a lot. So, and that just takes everybody from a janitor all the way to a doctor that volunteers. And again, we have doctors that volunteer at the Temple Community Clinic. It is just an immediate gratification. I remember one of my favorite volunteers. I know she's not going to mind me mentioning her name, Miss Karen Wheeler. She is about 4'11", and she was on the ladder with a power washer
Okay.
just power washing the windows at the Temple Community Clinic one year for Day of Caring. And I was like, Miss Karen, you want me to get you somebody else, someone taller to be on the ladder? She says, no, baby, I got it. And she was just loving it. And it's something, again, exhilarating about, number one, working alongside a good team.
Okay.
And number two, making a difference. And so you walk in there and it's, a little bit disheveled, and you walk out and it's shiny and brand new.
Sure.
And so you give all the people that get to come in there something that's shiny and brand new, and asking for help when you need it is not something that you should be ashamed of.
No, absolutely. Is there, I had in my head, is there a list that these organizations sometimes will let you guys know of things that need to be done? Like simple things like that, instead of like one daily push, instead of, hey, come out during, is there a way for people to connect on stuff like that?
They will often say, hey, Vachelle, I need, volunteers for this thing or volunteers for that, or do you have anybody? And what I'll do is just say, I'll put it out and see what happens. And typically I will get a group. One of our companies that run a campaign, they reached out to me, I believe in May, and they said they wanted to help with the summer feeding program. We don't do a summer feeding program, but we know someone who does a summer feeding program.
Okay, yeah.
So I connected them, and they sent out a small team, like 6 people that came out, and they put together 2,000 meals, 2,000, it was 500 bags, but those 500 bags turned into 2,000 meals. And they were able to distribute those within 2 weeks.
Okay.
And so that's a hands-on, actual factual volunteer group that did not exist a part of Day of Caring. It was something completely separate.
Okay, so because maybe not everyone can meet on the 6th or whatever day, but they want to bring their team of employees and, like you said, team
but
building.
But it is a great day. We ask people to honk when they see us in our shirts working.
Oh,
so
sure.
They get random honk.
All right. All right. No, that's outstanding. And so, what are some other, I know you mentioned the Christmas event, what are some other events throughout the year, or events that are coming up? And we're going to talk about this one here, and as soon as you're done talking about all the other ones. What are some big pushes?
Well, we're
what
going to...
does the Christmas one support?
Okay.
So that's a big one. After you have that big push, you guys, what does that go for then, that big event?
So our Chrome and Carols event is our one and only fundraiser, and it goes towards things to offset the costs, like our building.
Okay.
Like T-shirts, if we don't have a T-shirt sponsor for Day of Caring, to purchase these things, to offset any costs for anything that we need for our building to help with those costs, again, because campaign money goes to agencies.
Okay. All right. Well, there is a big event coming up here, and that's why I wanted you guys on to talk about this, because a lot of people, and myself included, didn't know a lot about this, so we wanted people to know about it. But there is a fun event coming up here in September, September 23rd, and it's Bourbon and Bow Ties here at Creekside Cigar Lounge, where we're talking right now. It's going to be a bourbon night like we do here a lot of times, once a month. There will be multiple bottles here for raffle. And then all the proceeds from that raffle will go to United Way Central Texas.
Correct.
So really what we need from people is definitely to come that night and buy some bottles or buy some raffle tickets. If you would like to bring a bottle with or donate one now, would be wonderful. Could they drop it off at you guys? Are they allowed to drop off a bottle at United Way to set aside, or should they bring it here to Creekside?
I would probably bring it here so you can display it,
Okay.
and you can use it to showcase things that are going to be in the raffle, because this is where the event will be, so you want traffic to come here.
And get them excited.
And you get them excited.
Okay.
And you guys are gathering and enjoying life and doing the things that you guys like.
Yes,
and,
we do have a lot of fun
but
at
when
them.
you attach a bigger purpose to it that feeds where you live, gosh, what an impact that does. And you're just doing you and enjoying you
Yeah.
and giving to a cause that's going to do more for those around you that need you that you don't even know.
And so this has surprised me in a great way. The bourbon community, very generous people.
Very
We've
generous.
had multiple events, and we have some other events coming up, and people donate like crazy. And we had an event earlier this spring that raised $2,500 for another charity. So it's a fun thing. We do them here. We need you to wear a bow tie. That's the fun. We have a lot of fun at these things.
That's the criteria.
I mean, we're putting the fun in fundraising.
That's right. Fun
right.
and fun. That's right.
right.
That's right.
That's right.
So
We're
we
putting
need
the
you to come. Yeah.
champions.
Yeah.
Come on now.
We need you to come dressed up. We need you to come festive and have a good time. Let your friends know. They do sell cigars here, so you will be around cigar smoke. We ask that you buy some cigars from Creekside here to help out our local small business while we're here. There's multiple ways that you can help that night or pay. You can just give cash for the raffle tickets, or you can write a check if you want to use it as a tax deduction, and we'll give you the tickets that way.
You can donate online as well.
Donate online, and we'll give the tickets as long as we confirm that the donation was through. Can we confirm that right away that night? A donation?
I think so.
Yes.
And then there's also a QR. That we can
give a
have a
QR
QR
code.
code.
We
They
sure
can
can.
donate like that, and we can track it. So really, we just need people to come out. It's a fun time. September 23rd, 6 o'clock here at Creekside.
And it's not just for the boys.
It's not
Bring
for
your
boys.
girls.
That's right. It's a great time. There's a lot of women that show up for the bourbon nights to come have a good time. Did we decide it's a Saturday night? So Saturday night.
Yeah,
Saturday
You've
Saturday
got
Night
all
Fever.
your stuff done during the day. There's no excuse not to show up.
That's right.
You've got all your errands done, all your chores at home. Come out and hang out, drink some bourbon, support a great cause, a local charity,
A local
which
charity.
is really the most important thing.
Yes.
And meet some new people. I almost said. I'm not even saying it. Meet some new people.
Have another drink.
Yeah, that's right. Hang out with your local community.
And make some friends and network
Make some
and
friends.
get to know each other.
So really, what we need you to do that are watching is tell your friends about it. You can find this on. I also host a bourbon page on Facebook. One Bourbon, One Cigar, Small Business. Coincidentally, the same name as the podcast. And you can find an events tab there to say you're coming. That helps a little bit, but there'll be bourbon to drink on the bar here. You have to bring a bottle if you want to share with it, which can be opened or unopened. We have a lot. Usually that bar top is full.
Wow.
And so we really want to fill it with full bottles for the donation. And I myself am bringing a couple of fun special bottles as well because.
My husband is too.
Yeah, I know. You're bringing.
Because sharing is caring. Because sharing is caring. Yes.
Okay. I'll bring some bottles.
Yeah.
But yes,
We're happy to
so,
contribute.
Once again, we're not trying to compel you, but if you feel compelled, yes, your donation will be made in good conscience, and all the funds will go towards United Way Central Texas.
Yes,
So
and we appreciate that.
Yeah, we
very much.
definitely appreciate
perfect.
that.
Well, yeah, here it is. Find us on the page. Will they be able to find this on the local? Are you guys going to be?
Yes. I
Okay.
believe we're going to be able to post that soon. Yes.
And so you'll be able to. We're gonna try and flood it a little bit. So I don't know. I don't know anyone at the news organizations. I don't know if we need 500 people here, but that'd be cool. I don't know if we can have
that would be
500
cool.
people
Well,
here.
we can take the outside. We can overtake.
Well, hey,
the
you know,
corner.
I'm hoping for.
This is a festive
And
corner
once again,
of Belton.
if you don't want to come to the night, but you want to donate some bottles,
Yep.
you know, if it's not your thing to be around cigars and drinking, but you see the greater cause, hey, don't walk in, bring a bottle.
Walk
leave
in,
it
bring your
here.
donation.
Yeah,
Walk in and
or
drop
buy-
off a
yeah,
check.
Exactly. So, yeah, we're not partial to anything. If you want to bring it, we will be happy to.
You want to meet
wrap
us?
it.
We will be here.
That's right. We got some local stars here, so
I don't know.
well.
Michelle will be outside.
That's right. That's right. So bring those bow ties, bring your bourbon, and bring a good attitude and
Bring
a
good
generous
attitude.
heart that night.
And a
so.
generous heart.
And I'm going to just end with our here we go. United in purpose. That
United
is what
in
we
purpose.
stand for.
All right.
In purpose.
All right. Well, thank you, Monica.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank
I know you guys
you.
are very busy. You're probably
Yes.
going to go off now and figure out more people to help, so that's outstanding. Thank you so much for coming on. Have a great day. Like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you later.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank
So
you. Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Look at that. That was like an hour. Perfect.
All right. Here
Because
we
we're
go to the-
professionals.
Did we cover all of it? I felt like you guys... If you like the video you just watched, hit the subscribe and like button. Also, why don't you hit that bell to stay up to date when further videos are coming out.